Hey, what's up everyone? Bill Lethman here for the Financial Advisor Lab. In today's video, I'm going to begin talking about automation. And this is something that is going to be a big part of our channel here. It's a big part of our practice and something I've really embraced. And in today's video, I'm not going to take too deep of a dive on this. We're definitely going to get into this in much deeper detail in some future videos. But what I want to do is just kind of paint a picture here and get you thinking a little bit about how you could automate some of the things in your practice. Now, at a very simple level, automation could just be, how do you structure your day and how do you operate the most efficiently? One of the things I like to do is use some time blocking. So if I'm going to make calls, I like to set aside a certain part of the day where I'm just going to make calls, or certain times a day that I'm going to have appointments. And that's one kind of very loose form of automation. But I want to give you another example. I want you to think about your appointment setting process. And this is something we've thought about pretty extensively. And maybe you've got some recommendations, maybe something's going on in the market, and you just want to get together with some clients for some upcoming reviews. And maybe you have a list, maybe there's 10 clients or 15 or 20 clients, or maybe you want to just say, hey, it's time for the quarterly review. Let's try to get together with as many people as we possibly can. So there's a couple different ways that you could do that. One way, and maybe the least efficient way, is for you to pick up the phone and start calling and saying, hey, John, it's Bill. Been looking over your account, want to get together with you to do a review. When's your availability to come into the office? And usually if you make a call like that, and it's a great thing, you like to have these conversations with clients, but generally speaking, it's not that quick of a call. Like, oh, hey, I saw what the market did yesterday, and what do you think about this? And then you start getting into conversations about things that, may not necessarily be the most efficient for that particular period of time. They're maybe, catching a little off guard and talking about topics that maybe you weren't really prepared to talk about, and things that you maybe wanted to get them into the office to talk about instead. So you get into this, and these calls are never usually very quick, but then they often end something like this. Sometimes they schedule and say, yeah, hey, how about next Tuesday at 3 o'clock? I can come into the office. Or, hey, maybe I need to check with Mary and see when she's available, and so they have to check with their spouse. Or, hey, I don't know, I might have to work late next week, so I'm not sure what that availability is. And then they say, I'll call you back. And then they call you back, and then maybe you're not there. They leave a message, and you call them back, and you get the idea. It can get real inefficient really quickly. Another way you could do this is you could, of course, pass this all along to your assistant if you have one. And your assistant can make those calls, and it would probably go very similar to that. Get into these conversations, talking about their kids, and, that's all great stuff. Those are the things that we really like about being financial advisors and having those connections and everything. But if we're just trying to, set up some meetings and get some clients in for a review, that could be less than ideal in that type of a situation. So let me tell you a little bit about how we do it, okay? So I'll go through, and sometimes it's automated right from the get-go, but I might take a look at a list of clients, and I might say, hey, here's 10 clients or 15 clients or 20 clients, and we basically say, hey, we want to get together with them. And what we do is we put them into an automated system, and we send them all an email. And it basically says something like this, and it usually comes from my assistant. It's all through our CRM, and it says, hey, Bill would like to schedule some time to get together with you here in the next couple of weeks. And we have an online scheduling tool that we use. And so to check out Bill's calendar and to set up a time, here's a link where you can get into Bill's calendar, pick a time that's convenient for you. If you have any questions, or if you don't see a time that works for you, please call me, and I'll find a time that works for you. And so what it's done is it's taken all of that back and forth really out of it, at least the majority of it. And it basically puts it back on the client. They can then go home and say, hey, I got an email from Bill today. He wants to get together with us. What's your schedule? They can talk about it. It might be 8 o'clock at night. It might be 9 o'clock at night. And they can go into the scheduler and pick that time. They don't have to wait and say, oh, I'll call Bill in the morning when he opens, and all that back and forth. So it's a very automated process. And then once that appointment is scheduled through the scheduler, they immediately get an email. In that email, it says, hey, here's a confirmation of your appointment with Bill. There's a link that they can click on where it can automatically add that to the calendar. And then depending on how far out the appointment is, sometimes we'll send a reminder the day before and say, hey, just a reminder, your appointment with Bill is tomorrow here in our office. If you have any questions or if something's come up, please don't hesitate to give us a call. And so, thinking about that and think about how much time maybe is spent on just scheduling some of those appointments. And while that's still a very important thing to do, it doesn't have to be done by you. It doesn't even have to be done by anybody in your staff. A lot of that can be done automated, and it gives you more time that you can focus on doing research or putting together financial plans or whatever else that you do on a daily basis, or just having a little bit more free time. So anyway, we're going to take some deep dives on automation. Something I'm really passionate about. A book that I read maybe back about 6 or 7 years ago that really maybe put me on the path to this automation idea was something called The E-Myth by Michael Gerber. If you haven't read that book, it's a fantastic book. Kind of laid out some of the initial thinking that I had about how to structure some of this and automate some of these processes. So anyway, hope you like what we're doing here with the YouTube channel. Please hit subscribe, hit that little notification bell. That way, anytime we do an update, you'll be sure to get notified right away. You won't miss any videos. We'll have some links below, but we're also going to have our engagement over on Facebook. Again, we've talked about this if you watched our intro video. Very heavily regulated industry. I am both Series 7 regulated, also have a limited purpose RAA. So, we've got all the regulations that maybe you do too. And one of those regulations is, although we can put videos up on YouTube, we are not allowed to have comments turned on. So for now, the comments portion of our community has to be done over on Facebook. So click the link over there. Love to hear some feedback from you. And with that, I'll see you back in one of our future videos. Thanks.